Hey everyone! We are working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content and it is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button right now as we proceed. Stop everything you're doing right now because what just happened in Dubai is one of the most tactically brilliant and downright ruthless performances we've seen from Eala in her entire professional career. This wasn't just a tennis match. This was a calculated dismantling, a strategic demolition, a complete and utter breakdown of an opponent's will to compete. Eala walked onto the court in Dubai to face American power hitter Hailey Baptiste, and what transpired over the next hour was a masterclass in how to identify a weakness, attack it relentlessly, and break your opponent both physically and mentally until they literally cannot continue. Baptiste didn't lose this match. She surrendered. She retired. She quit because Eala's tactical game plan was so suffocating, so relentless, so perfectly executed that continuing was physically impossible. Let me break down exactly what happened, why this performance matters so much for Eala's career, and what it tells us about where she's headed as a player. First, let's set the scene properly because the context here is absolutely vital to understanding the magnitude of what Eala accomplished. This is a WTA 1000 event in Dubai, which means this is the big leagues. These are the tournaments that separate contenders from pretenders. The ranking points are massive. The prize money is substantial. And the pressure is suffocating because you're competing against the best players in the world on one of the sport's biggest stages. Eala walks out onto the court, and the first thing everyone notices is the atmosphere. The stadium is absolutely packed, and it's packed specifically for her. Dubai has a massive Filipino expatriate community, and they showed up in force to support their tennis hero. Thousands of people waving Filipino flags, chanting her name, creating an energy that most players at major tournaments never experience. Think about the pressure that creates for a 20-year-old player. You've got an entire nation's hopes riding on your shoulders. You've got thousands of people who traveled to watch you, who spent their hard-earned money on tickets, who are screaming for you to win. Most young players would absolutely crumble under that weight. But Eala didn't just handle it. She used it as fuel. She looked locked in from the moment she stepped on court. That mental fortitude, that ability to channel pressure into performance, that's the first sign that she's ready to compete at the highest levels of professional tennis. Now let's get into the tactical warfare because this is where Eala won the match before Baptiste even thought about retiring. Hailey Baptiste is known throughout the WTA Tour for her heavy hitting. She's got a massive forehand that can blow people off the court. She's got a big first serve that can earn free points. But she also has glaring weaknesses, and the biggest ones are her movement and her second serve. Eala and her coaching team clearly did their homework because from the very first point of this match, Eala had one singular goal. Attack the second serve with everything you've got. The word that perfectly describes what Eala was doing to Baptiste's second serve is mauled. Every single time Baptiste missed a first serve, you could see Eala's eyes light up. She stepped inside the baseline, loaded up, and absolutely crushed returns deep to the corners. She wasn't just putting the ball back in play. She was punishing it. She was forcing Baptiste to scramble immediately and defend from a disadvantageous position. This wasn't passive tennis. This was aggressive, calculated destruction of an opponent's safety net. There was a specific moment in the match at 4-3 in the first set where this strategy completely broke Hailey Baptiste mentally. Baptiste missed a first serve, and Eala crushed a return winner that painted the line. Then Baptiste missed another first serve, and Eala forced an error with another aggressive return. It was relentless. It was suffocating. And you could see Baptiste's body language change in real time. She started rushing her service motion. She started overhitting trying to compensate. She started panicking because she knew that if she didn't land that first serve, she was going to lose the point. Eala had taken away her safety net. She had made Baptiste feel like she was walking a tightrope without a harness, and that kind of psychological pressure is what leads to physical breakdowns. Let's talk about the forehand battle because this was absolutely fascinating to watch from a tactical perspective. Baptiste has the raw power advantage. She can hit the ball harder than Eala in a straight-up power contest. But Eala has two massive advantages that she exploited ruthlessly. First, she's a lefty, which creates different angles and different spins that right-handed players aren't comfortable dealing with. Second, her court coverage is superior. There were rallies where Baptiste would hit what she thought was a massive shot into the corner, and Eala would just glide over there and send it back with interest, using Baptiste's own pace against her. Baptiste struggles when she's on the run, especially on the forehand side. And Eala exploited that weakness ruthlessly. She kept moving the ball side to side, making Baptiste work for every single point, draining her energy little by little like a boxer who knows they can't trade knockout blows with a heavy hitter. So instead, they just keep jabbing and moving and jabbing and moving until their opponent can't stand up anymore. That's exactly what Eala did in this match. The first set scoreline of 6-4 might look relatively close on paper, but if you actually watch the match, it felt like Eala was in complete control of all the crucial moments. She converted 2 out of her 3 breakpoint opportunities, which is elite efficiency at the professional level. When she had the chance to kill the set, she didn't hesitate. She didn't get tight. She hit a forehand cross-court winner on set point that was absolute poetry in motion. It painted the line and left Baptiste standing there watching helplessly. That shot was a statement. It said, "I am not here to participate, I am here to dominate." And it secured the first set, which is so often the deciding psychological factor in these grueling WTA matches. Now we have to address what everyone's talking about: the retirement. The match ended in the most anticlimactic way possible. Baptiste walked to the net and shook hands. No medical timeout beforehand. No trainer on court for 20 minutes working on an injury. Just, "I'm done, I can't continue." The confusion was immediate and palpable. But as information came out, it was revealed that Baptiste was suffering from an abdominal injury that made it incredibly painful to serve. Now let's connect the dots here, because this is where Eala's tactical brilliance becomes even more apparent. Remember how she was relentlessly attacking the second serve? Remember how Baptiste was struggling to land her first serve consistently? An abdominal injury makes it incredibly painful to generate power on your serve. It creates a hitch in your motion. It kills your velocity. So, in a very real way, Eala's strategy of attacking the serve actually exacerbated the injury by forcing Baptiste to hit more second serves, by making her reach and stretch for difficult returns, by putting more physical stress on that injured area with every point. Tennis is a brutal, gladiatorial sport. If you smell blood, you attack the wound. And Eala, whether she knew about the specific injury or not, played the perfect game plan to exploit a physically compromised opponent. Baptiste retired because she knew she had zero chance of winning that match without being able to serve effectively. Eala had taken away her primary weapon and left her defenseless. I want to give massive credit to Eala's focus and killer instinct here, because it's very easy to get distracted or lose your rhythm when your opponent is clearly struggling. When you see someone wincing or moving slower than usual, you can start playing down to their level or lose your own intensity. But Eala stayed the course. She kept hitting her spots. She kept moving her feet. She kept the intensity high. She didn't give Baptiste a single inch of breathing room to potentially recover or catch a second wind. That's the killer instinct that separates good players from great ones. In the past, Eala might have led opponents back into matches. But in Dubai, she slammed the door shut and locked it. Let's talk about what this win means for Eala's career trajectory, because advancing at a WTA 1000 event is absolutely massive. These are the tournaments that define your season, that separate your ranking from the pack, that get you closer to direct entry into Grand Slams without having to grind through qualifying. Every win at this level validates the work she's been putting in at the Rafa Nadal Academy. It validates the sacrifices her family has made. And it proves beyond any doubt that she belongs on court with the best players in the world. And here's a tactical advantage that people might overlook. Eala just played 1 set and a bit. She's fresh. She has a full tank of gas for her next match. Meanwhile, other players in the draw are grinding through 3-set wars in the Dubai heat, exhausting themselves physically and mentally. This retirement is actually a blessing in disguise for Eala's tournament chances. She gets to practice, rest, and scout her next opponent while everyone else is sweating it out on court. That's a significant competitive advantage as the tournament progresses. Now, haters are going to try to diminish this victory by saying, oh, she only won because Baptiste retired. That's lucky, that doesn't count. Do not listen to that noise for 1 second. Eala won the first set 6-4 fair and square. She was in complete control of the match. The retirement was just the final surrender after Baptiste realized she couldn't compete physically. You create your own luck in tennis by being prepared, by being fit, and by executing your game plan. Baptiste came through qualifiers and her body broke down. Eala was fit, ready, and resilient. Availability is the best ability, and Eala was simply the better athlete on the day. I was particularly impressed by Eala's backhand down the line in this match because it's becoming a genuine weapon in her arsenal. She hit several winners off that wing that froze Baptiste and opened up the court. Because Eala is a lefty, her cross-court forehand is her natural heavy shot. But when she can flatten out that backhand and go down the line, it creates confusion for opponents. Baptiste didn't know which way to lean. She was getting caught flat-footed constantly. That variety is what separates Eala from one-dimensional ball bashers. She has touch, she has angles, and she has the tennis IQ to use them at exactly the right moments. The home court advantage Eala enjoyed in Dubai cannot be overstated. The cheers for every point she won were absolutely deafening. That kind of energy lifts you when you're tired. It intimidates opponents. Baptiste must have felt like she was the villain in a movie. Everywhere she looked, thousands of people were rooting against her. Eala embraced that energy. She smiled. She fist-pumped. She engaged with the crowd. She understands that she's an ambassador for the Philippines, and she wears that responsibility with grace and pride. Looking at the statistics from the first set, Eala's unforced error count was low. Her winner count was healthy. But the most important stat was her breakpoint conversion rate. Converting 2 out of 3 breakpoints is championship-level efficiency. Young players often get tight on breakpoints. They try to do too much or they play too passive hoping for an error. Eala played those points with controlled aggression. She took the racket out of Baptiste's hands and dictated terms. That's the sign of a maturing champion. So here's what I need from you right now. Smash that like button if you think Eala just announced herself as a serious threat on the WTA Tour. Drop a comment below telling me whether you think she can make a deep run in this Dubai tournament. And absolutely hit that subscribe button because we're going to be covering every single match of Eala's journey as she continues climbing the rankings and proving she belongs among the elite. This is just